Okay, apologize in advance. I'm kind of congested, so this might sound a little funnier than normal. But anyways, I've already made one of my side parts here, and I've saved this. I've made it into a project. It's in my desktop organizer project. It's on A360. I've already done all that stuff. So if you don't know how to do that, you need to figure out how to do that in another video or ask someone in your group. I've made this so I've got my joints for connections. I've got one for a shelf here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use assembly mode to create the rest of the parts for this. So I'm going to go to home and I'm going to go to new and I'm going to create a new assembly. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that file, which is called sidewall. Yours will be whatever you title it as. So I'm going to place this. Just going to click once, and now for this design I've got two of the same pieces, so I'm going to place another one, right click and go to OK. Now I can constrain this. So we're going to go back to our previous projects where we learned how to do constraints. I'm going to flush that, and then I'm going to flush the backs. And then for my third constraint, I'm going to put a mate on this, but I'm going to use an offset. So I'm going to click here and here. Now it automatically sandwiches them together, but I'm going to put 6 inches in, and that's going to offset them so the gap in between these two parts are 6 inches. So I click apply, and now these two parts are 6 inches apart, and they're flush in the back and the bottom, so these are totally lined up like how they're going to go together. I go to cancel. Now I could pull all these dimensions and remake another part, but a way easier way to do this, if you understand how to project geometry, is to go to create. And I'm going to call this back wall demo because I've done this a couple times in my classes, but I'm going to call it back wall demo. I'm going to click OK. And remember, look down here, it says select sketch plane for base feature. Always look at what Inventor's asking you to do. I'm going to click on this plane. Now it's isolated this one part that I'm creating. So I'm going to start a sketch, and I don't know why it rotates it away from my plane, but I want to make it on that plane. And now I'm going to project the geometry. So I'm going to project where I want this part to go. And it's going to have these little tabs that stick out into these slots. And there I want it cut away. So I'll do this on both sides. You see how that's projecting? It's bringing that line up into your plane. So I'm moving my way across, projecting all this geometry. Okay. Continuing to project geometry here. Okay, I could make a line here. I could do something crazy. Could go out like a little bit. Go up. Go over. And then I'm just going to make an arc on the top, just like I did in most of your demonstrations. And now I have a full loop. So if I go to finish sketch and extrude, right now it's going up and away from my shape. But if I switch the direction, and I'm going to change the distance to the thickness of my shape, which is 0.108. Click OK. I now have this shape is extruded to the end of those tabs that we created. And if I click return, now that shape is finished. Okay, so it's already constrained. It's got all its constraints built in. And when I save this, it's saving to my A360 drive. This has actually created its own part file that I can open and edit. So there's no, I can edit this part and then put it back into my assembly. Okay, and now I could go on and make this shelf doing the same thing. I could create shelf. I've got to select my plane, so I'm going to go in here and click on that. Start a new 2D sketch. I want to click on that face. Either side, it doesn't matter. And it gets a little confusing moving stuff around, but now I can project my geometry. That's going to be a little different, but I can keep going. That part. I'm going to have to just project this line like that. Okay, and then I can project these lines, and it'll make a line going across the back. And then add one more line, and if I wanted to, I could make this an arc. Finish sketch. Now when I extrude this, I need to make sure that I choose inside those shapes. And it's giving me a problem, so I'm going to have to go back and edit the sketch. But if I did this correctly, this will make that shelf fit in there appropriately. I just have to work on getting those to extrude, so I'll have to go edit my sketch again. But that will make a shelf that's already in there, and it's constrained, and I don't have to do anything else. Okay, I hope this helps. Good luck.